Hi guys, welcome to Criterion Club, Way Too Indie's monthly hangout about everything Criterion and the Criterion Collection. I'm Bernard, a writer at way2indie.com, and joining me today, as always, is CJ Prince, another writer at way2indie.com.
Hello.
And it's good to be back at our super exclusive club. We love coming here. This is our special place on Way Too Indie that no one knows about. Which is, I think it's a good thing.
One day.
One day, the club is growing. I think we're up to two and a half members now.
Yeah, I said last time, we still have applications pouring in. We're going to, get through those. We did approve one member, but he died. So we will eventually get to the other application.
Yeah, we'll miss Jerome. Love goes out to his family and everybody.
Much love to Jerome.
Yeah, everyone else in Timbuktu. So to start things off, we're gonna run through the titles that the Criterion Collection announced, I think, last week that are coming out in January. Right, CJ?
Yes, January. So I have the list here. First one up is The Sword of Doom. A movie by Kihachi Okamoto, I believe that's how it's pronounced or not. Then The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant by Rainer Werner Fassbinder. Fassbinder, yeah, everyone should know who that is. And then My Winnipeg by Guy Maddin.
I want to see that one so bad.
I'm actually not a crazy fan of Guy Maddin from what I've seen. I remember I tried to watch My Winnipeg years ago. It was like, it's a Canadian movie, so naturally it's like promoted like crazy in Canada, or more than it would in the States.
I watched in Canada, by the way, for those people.
Yeah, I'm in Canada.
California. I'm in California. CJ's in Canada.
Yeah, so we were just discussing the temperature differences and my envy, but yeah, no. My Winnipeg, I watched like maybe 20 minutes and I turned it off. I don't know if I'm just not a fan of Guy Maddin's style or what, but I intend to give him like a proper chance. I love his short movie. I think it's called The Heart of the World.
Okay.
That's great, but
dude, but the premise sounds so awesome for My Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
talk about the premise.
I'll go by the Criterion. It says on the Criterion, it's like a work of memory and imagination. Maddin's film burrows into what the filmmaker calls the heart of the continent, conjuring the city as delightful as it is fearsome, populated by sleepwalkers and hockey aficionados. Basically, it's kind of like a personal essay film of sorts because
it's autobiographical.
Yeah, it's autobiographical, but it indulges.
That's his family members, except his mom plays his mom. His mom's in the movie.
Yeah, but it indulges in tons and tons of like crazy stuff because that's Guy Maddin. He always likes to have this ridiculous stuff, and he's so inspired by like silent films and that era of cinema. I know he casted like a very old famous silent actress. I think it was her last role in the movie. But yeah, no, I need to give a Guy Maddin a better chance. I just remember like the saddest song of the world I didn't really care for in this one, but yeah. However, the other two. Preston Sturges' The Palm Beach Story, which I have not seen.
I'm super excited for that one. I haven't seen it, but I love Preston Sturges, and I can't wait to eat up whatever of his comes out, basically.
Yeah. And finally, I'm not going to say the original title because I will brutalize it, but it's The Swamp by Lucretia Martel. And this is the only film of hers I have not seen yet. I have seen The Holy Girl and The Headless Woman.
The Swamp?
Yes, this is La
Cienega.
Yes.
La Cienega.
Yeah, you see, you know how to pronounce it better than me. But yeah, I saw the Headless Woman. I really like the Headless Woman. Did not care for The Holy Girl as much, but a lot of people.
Here's that. That was the recent one, right? La Cienega.
No, that's 2000. Yeah, it's 2001. Recent for. Yeah, I thought you were talking about her filmography. That was her first film, but yeah, no, I haven't. I actually I've been holding off on seeing this one, and now that Criterion's releasing on DVD and Blu-ray, I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for the Blu-ray because it'll look way better than the DVD that's out now. Lucretia Martel, I'm kind of happy in a way. She is. I'm not as crazy about her as other people, but she's a very, I think, undervalued director. She makes some, like, even though I didn't care for The Holy Girl, she has a very cool, distinct style. The Headless Woman's really good, and I tell everyone, like, please go see it. I'm more excited about this announcement because I feel like The Headless Woman is going to come out on Criterion eventually.
Right, right.
Great. But yeah.
I'm excited for that. Those are all the releases for January 2015. But actually, right now, if you want to watch a couple of them, The Sword of Doom and The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant are available on Hulu Plus. Yeah. Which is, it's better than nothing.
Have you seen The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant?
No, man. I'm planning on watching it right after we're done here.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, Fassbinder is a director that I've only seen Ali, like, Fear Eats the Soul, which I wasn't crazy about, and I've been intending to get into more Fassbinder movies, but...
I hear there's lots of long shots, lots of deep focus going on.
Yeah. That's why I'm now Mr. Long Shot Deep Focus.
Long Shot Deep Focus, they're almost like Criterion tropes at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is very funny. It's like people who aren't. This is an interesting thing. People who aren't really familiar with the Criterion Collection almost talk about the Criterion Collection as if it's a genre of movie. Like this, they'll watch a movie that's like kind of art house, and they'll say, "This is like a Criterion movie." Like, what do you mean? I know what they mean, but it's a totally wrong interpretation of what the Criterion Collection is. It's like they think movies come out like Criterion Collection creates movies or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's just becoming a catch-all for, like, art house or something that's not going to please you sometimes or not unfold in the way you're expecting. I don't know, but yeah, I find it funny.
All the weirdos, and of course here at way2indie.com, we kind of love that stuff. So moving on, those are the releases. I'm very excited for those. But what I'm more excited about is that CJ just watched. What is this? Your first Kurosawa or second?
No,
Kurosawa?
second.
Second Kurosawa movie. The first movie you watched was
Stray Dog.
Oh, Stray Dog. Wow, that's an interesting place to start.
Well, actually, it was the thing. Someone I know, we had this thing where we each recommended movies to each other from directors we haven't seen, and he gave me Kurosawa. I was like, okay, I'll do Kurosawa because I really need to watch this movie. So he's like, watch Stray Dog. He's like, don't. He didn't want to pick like the obvious, so he's like, do Stray Dog, and I like Stray Dog, so.
Cool. Well, for your second Kurosawa movie, you went to the one of the big dogs. No pun intended. You went to Seven Samurai, of course, the incredibly influential long ass movie epic, samurai epic by Akira Kurosawa. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, CJ. You've told them to me briefly over chat, but let's hear it. Let's break everyone's heart. Let's go.
I've been dreading this. For the viewers who did not watch the last Criterion Club, we made a bet with each other, I guess, where you said I would watch a Kurosawa movie by the time we did the next one, and I said okay. And the only one I had on me was The Seven Samurai, and I thought, okay, well, it's a classic. I have to watch it anyway.
Is it a classic, CJ? Is it a classic?
To me, no. I was not a big fan of it. I mean, I can hear glasses breaking, monocles exploding from our viewers.
You said monocles? Did you
yes, monocles. These are our viewers.
Monocles?
Yeah, the monocles are popping out of their eyes and breaking.
Yeah, typical Akira Kurosawa fan.
Typical Criterion Club viewer. They just have an improper vision on one eye.
Yeah.
Monocles everywhere.
Monocles exploding.
I like vivid imagery. No, it's you said you put it well when you said a long ass movie. I mean, it's hard to put it, but it was. I had a like. I'll put it this way: when I saw a Lav Diaz movie a few months ago that was 5.5 hours long, and I think I had a better time watching that. I was not as restless watching that than I was watching Seven Samurai. I don't know. There's this thing where I just felt like maybe it's because I don't know. I just had this maybe I'm so conditioned now with movies being much more fast paced and stuff. But I was just saying there like get on with it. Like it was just it wasn't pulling me in as much. It's not a bad movie by any means. I don't hate the movie at all. I think it's just it's considered one of the greatest films of all time. So when you go approach a movie that's that high in that high esteem, and you just kind of go, oh, it was okay. It wasn't like loving it. That's considered, oh my god, you are insulting this movie.
Which for the record, I think that's unfair when people say stuff like that. I think that's unfair.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had that plenty of times. I feel like I commit, movie sacrilege at times because I watch a movie that's considered a favorite, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I wasn't, it wasn't bad, but I wasn't, blown away. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, that's okay, CJ. And let's talk about I actually have it right here. Seven Samurai.
You tried to guilt me.
No. This is for our viewers if no one's familiar with the packaging. It's one of the most beautiful packages of Criterion that I have of the Criterion collection. I love it. The booklet's wonderful. I just hit myself in the face with the case. But yeah, man, it's just gorgeous stuff. Seven Samurai, of course, for those unfamiliar, it's about a village, a helpless village at this kind of hapless farmers who are being attacked by bandits, and they hire seven samurai to protect them, although at the very same time they're frightened of the very samurai they hired, because samurai are, I guess, kind of like scoundrels. Not scoundrels, but you know what I mean. They're dangerous men. So there are a lot of roles and societal role dynamics going on here. I do love the movie. It's clear. It's one thing that's kind of undeniable about it is how influential it's been on cinema since the 50s when it came out. I mean, you can't even you could list off if you listed off every movie that it's influenced, it would be a zillion miles long. But I love what I love about it is that going into it, this is actually the first samurai movie I ever saw.
Really?
I wasn't familiar with samurai cinema or Japanese. Well, I guess, okay, so I had an impression of Japanese society in that I thought samurai were these kind of rigid, like, they'll just, like, die doing their job, kind of like brave people,
Yeah.
just fall on their sword and doing what they had to do. And I think Seven Samurai captures that, but what's cool about it is it's also subversive in that it explores like the morality of that and the character of the type of man who has the courage to sacrifice their life for somebody else. There's like one of the Seven Samurai ends up falling in love with a local girl, which is clearly like the word you just said, sacrilege. At the time when the movie takes place, but when the two are found out, and this is an insight from Roger Ebert, I think, when the two are found out, some of the villagers actually say, they're young people, just let them be in love, and this was, at the time, I think, this was a really novel idea, that these samurai are questioning their role as protectors, and the villagers are questioning their fear for these men. Are these men, good people or not? They're obviously murderers and really good at killing people, but how shall we treat them in the end? And I won't spoil anything, but in the end, the relationship between the samurai and the village doesn't end up at how you might expect.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of good movies that deal with history deal with the transition in history when you're going from the old to the new, and that's what it does. And I do like, and I mean, yeah, there are aspects of I like that stuff a lot because it is, by putting, I think, at least the way I took it was, the reason why they weren't so offended or like just let them do what they want to do is because it is in the context of we might all die.
Right. There's a greater evil out there.
Yeah, there's a greater evil, and they realize the kind of, I guess, how minuscule that aspect is, considering everything else going on or threatening them at the time. And yeah, I mean, there are qualities like that. I actually, I mean, it is obviously influential. I could I could have other movies flashing in my head while I watched it. I watched Takashi Miike's 13 Assassins a couple years back.
Oh wow! Wow.
I feel is it is basically a very compressed version of Seven Samurai. With almost double the samurai, I guess. But it's, yeah, I mean, I love 13 Assassins. I wondered if my opinion would have changed had I have seen this before 13 Assassins.
Interesting. Because that's what you'd want is a more compressed version of this. You thought it was
Yeah,
too.
I wondered if it was largely influenced by the fact that I did essentially see, a similar story, but just done in a more, let's say, economical way. And yeah, who knows? I've I've talked to a couple people about this, some friends and stuff. They've seen Seven Samurai. They also were not big on it. They also kind of felt it was fine, but it just for them it went on too long, and it kind of did this. But then other people have told me you're crazy. That movie flies by for me. So
Yeah, it flies by for me. I think one of the things that I love about the way Kurosawa shoots action, which is just fascinating to me. Like, of course, there's that shot where like there's a hill and then a bunch of like men and horses kind of flood down the hill, which is so like it's been done a zillion times since. But the way Kurosawa does it is just pretty wondrous. And what's really great about him is that his camera is pretty humble. Like it's not doing the craziest shit ever, but he knows exactly how to frame the human body when it's in action or fighting or something. The shapes that the people make are beautiful. Like obviously, if you watch any samurai movie, the shapes they make with a sword in their body is just like gorgeous. And he knows exactly how to frame that stuff. It's so iconic. Like every time you see Toshiro Mifune fight or like walk around with that sword draped over his shoulder like that, which was never been done before, it's unforgettable. Like when I think of I actually get chills when I think of Toshiro Mifune's character in Seven Samurai and where he ends up at the end of the movie is kind of chilling to me.
yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm noticing too. I noticed it more with Stray Dogs, Stray Dog, the Stray Dogs, but no, Stray Dog, different
Another
movie.
good movie. Another good movie.
That's a long movie, but I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
No, but like with Stray Dog, I was actually kind of surprised at how good of an eye he had. I guess I didn't expect the kind of compositions that would, for some reason, I have this. I'm so bad with older cinema for some. But I've never really. It took me a while to really start getting into films, I guess, made before like the 70s or 60s, and I always had these expectations that were really stupid, and I'm still trying to get rid of them. Like the expectation that everything was shot rather and not in an artful sense, but I guess in a way just let's convey information in the best way possible. That's totally wrong. And I remember watching Stray Dog, and even a little bit in Seven Samurai. Was like he has a good eye. Yes, he knows. You're right. It's a humble camera. It doesn't call attention to itself so much in the sense like it's not overtly showy, but he knows how to convey information. Yes, very well. But sometimes he does it in a really kind of elegantly stylistic way.
Right. Yeah. It's Seven Samurai, of course. CJ, I'm very disappointed in you. No, I'm joking. I kid. It's all fair game to me. I'm definitely guilty of cinema sacrilege when it comes to.
No, I mean when you name a cinema sacrilege on your end.
Okay. What's one that I really don't like? Oh gosh, this is hard. Oh, you know what? The Virgin Spring.
Okay.
Yeah, the Virgin Spring. Actually really that was like painful for me actually. I love Bergman, but that one killed me.
Yeah, I mean Bergman. I mean the thing with Bergman is like he has so many movies, so I'm sure you love plenty of other Bergmans. I mean for me, did not care for Godfathers 1 and 2. Don't really care for Tarkovsky.
Maybe this will be a subject for one of our future Criterion.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Yeah, like I told you. I remember I said to you in an earlier one, like what were Criterions that we hate?
Yes.
That should definitely be a topic. We'll talk about.
I said Virgin Spring. I don't know why I didn't say that. But anyways, we've got to move on. That was a fun conversation, though, CJ. I look forward to more. Do you want me to watch something for next time? Are we doing this again?
Gosh.
You're on the spot.
What's a director that's a blind spot for you that might be in the Criterion?
God, like their whole filmography?
Like yeah, I mean like just a director that you feel like you either haven't seen enough of or you haven't seen anything by. So I think.
Jeez. I don't know. I mean, there's a ton. I just can't. I can't think of them right now.
Yeah, I know. It's on the spot, right? I'm just trying to think of Criterions I own. God, I don't own a lot, but I own enough. I mean, like I can only think of the recent ones like Hunger or Revanche or stuff like that, which are obviously great. Crap.
You know what? Okay, so oh gosh, I guess Roman Polanski's kind of a big blind spot for me. I mean, I've seen a bunch of his movies though.
Uh,
I guess I don't feel familiar
it's
with
hard, yeah.
it.
You know what we'll do? Maybe we'll just like I'll figure one out after, and then I'll tell you, and then like the next time we'll talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because
So
I mean we can't do it on
everybody,
the spot.
all these people watching us do
Yeah.
this stupid business in front of the camera. CJ's going to figure this out. He's going to give me a film to watch that I have not seen,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about it next time. But for now, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about something very exciting that CJ just got in the mail. Why don't you share that with us, CJ?
Probably a bad purchase financially, but a good purchase, for my heart. If I can get in there, it's backwards. Unfortunately. The complete Jacques Tati.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's packaged similar to the Demy set that you showed me before. Like it's these kind of digipacks of
Right.
tattoo shorts and Parade, Traffic, Playtime. All, of course, gorgeously drawn art. Because Criterion's always great about that. And a really lovely booklet that I can't get out. Love the design of the book. Love that they have the solid colors. Yeah, no, I mean it's a really nicely designed set. I mean, I if I want to be picky, the packaging is a little. The cardboard is a bit flimsy. I don't know if you can see, but
Oh, that's cool.
in shipping, it kind of got a little bent because UPS delivered it.
Well, that kind of happens with those digipacks, right?
Yes, as everyone knows, UPS stands for "you piece of shit." They suck at deliveries, but it's a nice set, and yeah, Tati's he is a legend to me. He's one of the more like influential directors for me, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this is
I
pretty
think
much
although like we don't agree on Seven Samurai, I think we're very much in agreement on Jacques Tati. I think he's very important for both of us.
yes, yeah, he's just I remember I watched Playtime and was blown away. It's one of my favorite movies of all time now, and then I watched
People say that all the time that a movie blew their mind. Like Playtime blew my mind.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen nothing like it. I mean, other than like Mon Oncle and all the other stuff that he did. But it's incredible. It's an experience unlike any other.
Yeah, I mean, it opened me to the idea of like, oh, like a director can I've never seen that much meticulous planning and choreography like in a movie. Like the amount of detail, like it's just watch in awe of everything, especially that final sequence. How much you can take one location, just stretch it out for an hour, and just make it so
Well,
compelling.
it's like a textbook in blocking. Like to think about the blocking for a Tati film is to have your mind like kind of disintegrate.
Yes, I don't know.
No one can fathom what he had to do.
I don't know how he did it, and I think that I'm always saddened about I mention this all the time, but I think it's one of the great like tragedies in film. How his life ended up, the failure of Playtime, and having to sell all of his films away and to stay financially afloat, and just kind of fading off, which it's very saddening. But I'm glad that Criterion releases this set so we can have his whole legacy in one nice, neat package.
Yeah, what would you say, CJ, are some of for those who aren't familiar with Jacques Tati and maybe should go purchase this box set for educational purposes, or, I mean, it's going to be great for you anyways. These are fantastic films. What would you say are some of his defining characteristics as a filmmaker? Like there are themes that he loves.
Yeah.
A lot.
Likes to make fun of modernity, modern society, and like that's a large chunk of his jokes. Playtime is essentially a giant
satire.
Yeah, satire of modern living and new technology. He kind of likes to highlight how technology, tries to make things easier, but in fact makes life more complicated or convoluted.
Yeah, he accentuates the absurdity of modernity, and it's kind of a theme that's relevant today. I would love to see him make a movie about technology today. It'd be fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean that's the thing. Like he doesn't rely on dialogue as much. He's very slapstick in the sense of he has these very highly choreographed
It's all
gags.
cinema, man. It's all cinema. I mean,
Yeah.
this is pure cinema. This is not. I mean, I've been on this kick of where I'm just sick. I'm sick of people. I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm sick of people thinking that a story in a movie equals like dialogue. Like dialogue is the only place where story exists. It's just really really infuriating to me, and I think Tati is testament to that. The most effective, not always, but
Mhm.
often the most effective way to tell a story in cinema is visually.
Yeah, well, that's what defined cinema, the visual quality, and it is visual dialogue. You're right. It's just
Right.
a
Right.
different form of what we typically consider dialogue to be. Yeah, no,
I,
he's
I saw someone, sorry to interrupt, CJ. I saw someone tweet something out saying that Interstellar looks like Gravity, but with an actual story. I saw that tweet somewhere. I don't know where I saw it, but that made me so mad. That made me so mad because to say that Gravity did not have an actual story, I don't even know what that means.
it,
It's just I know what the person
that's
meant, but
silly. I mean
it's
that I mean
ridiculous.
that's
Ridiculous.
ridiculous. And I mean to me, I would say Interstellar looks like Gravity with twice the length.
Twice the dialogue,
Twice, yeah, I mean, uh, and probably more than twice the dialogue, but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, way more.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think, yeah, Interstellar. We can talk about it. I don't think Interstellar would be a Criterion movie, or maybe it would. I mean, they. Oh wait, no, they didn't put. Oh, they put Following on. I was thinking Insomnia, but that was the original. They put
Yeah,
Nolan's.
Nolan stuff is coming out.
Yeah, they didn't do Memento though, right? For some reason, I thought they did
They
Memento.
did. Didn't they do Memento?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not. No,
Oh,
yeah, they probably
yeah.
didn't.
Like, oh my god, yeah. Research.
But anyways, back to Tati. I think
Yes,
Tati
back to
is
Tati.
the embodiment of inventiveness and unorthodox methods and using cinema and like kind of uh, getting everything out of the art form and the medium that you can.
Mhm.
Not only does he tell stories visually and cinematically, he does it in a way that no one else does. His voice is completely unique, and I love the guy.
Yeah, it's funny because like a lot of people point to it as one of their favorite things in terms of just an element or something in Tati's films. You can point to like Tativille and Playtime or the house in Mon Oncle, that modern house. But for me, it's actually not the modern house; it's the house that Tati lives in. You know, that old
Right,
ramshackle like
right,
place. Like
right.
that, I
The
love.
windows. Yeah.
Yes, I love that shot. I love like that's one of my favorite Tati shots where you see him just going up and down, and you're realizing like, holy crap, they actually built this thing and the way that he elaborately designs a shot so you can follow everything. And yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just a total like, as corny as it is to say, he's just a master. So
He is a master, and I think there are these filmmakers who kind of revered silent cinema, and kind of kept the tradition alive, like Alfred Hitchcock, who kind of mourned the death of silent cinema, and Jacques Tati, I think, is in the same boat. I mean, you could tell if you watch any of these movies. I mean, you could definitely, although sound plays a huge part in his movies, and kind of it's interesting. He actually uses sound to direct your eye in the frame, which is just fascinating to me. Yeah, his movies are essentially silent, or very similar to silent movies, and I just adore him. I think we have to move on though. We could talk about Tati forever. Maybe we'll talk about him more in a future episode of Criterion Club. But moving on, CJ, there is a book coming out. Criterion just announced their
yes,
first book.
their first ever book.
It's so exciting to me. It's really great. It's basically a collection of highlights of their commissioned designs by artists for the covers of their releases, their Blu-rays and DVDs and Laserdiscs. So how excited are you for this, CJ? The book looks beautiful.
I won't lie, I'm not crazy excited. I think, yeah, I mean, Criterion,
Get the fuck out of here! What's wrong with you? You're ruining
hang me
the
up now.
show. This is the segment.
The criteria that's their defining thing, right? I mean, it's I think it's probably the thing. Their cover designs. That to me is what stood out to them. They always had these really nice covers, and the book is going to show like sketches, concepts for some of their covers. It's also going to have a gallery of every cover they ever did, all the way back to their Laserdisc
Wow.
days. Yes, Criterion did Laserdiscs. Um, and yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. for sure. Will I buy it? Probably not. I think $100 for a coffee table book is insane to me.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna buy it either, but that's just
No.
broke.
Yeah, but then again, I was told that the Rolling Stones charge $500 for their coffee table books. So apparently, these books go for crazy prices.
Rolling Stones or Rolling Stone?
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones? What do you mean? What is their coffee book?
I don't know. Someone told me that they released a book and maybe it was the magazine I don't know, but someone released a coffee table book for $500.
What?
And that's robbery. But Criterion is more it's more reasonable. It's $99.99, although I still think that's crazy. I'm sure it'll be as everything in Criterion for the most part, like gorgeous and quality wise, excellent, all that. But you can currently get it on Amazon for much cheaper. I think like 60 or 70.
Oh, that's great.
At this time, you can get it. There's a coupon on the Criterion site. I don't know what it is, but you can get like 20 or 30% off pre-order if you get it on the Criterion site directly. So, I mean, for now, you're not paying $100, but that's the MSRP, as they say. So, yeah, I mean, I maybe one day, but I don't think I'll get it. But I am happy that they're putting some sort of highlight out for their designs, because I think that is what really is the main thing that differentiates for people, or what immediately catches the eye, of course.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, I think a lot of the value of their discs is in the packaging and those designs, and they're really special. A lot of them that are going to be in that book. The images they've released, Criterion has. If you go to their site or go to their Facebook page, they just look. They're very enticing, I'll just say that. But to finish the show out, we want to talk about some Criterion movies that we've seen recently. Besides Seven Samurai for CJ, of course, we've seen other stuff. So what have you seen recently, CJ? I know you wanted to talk about one of Cronenberg's greatest, I think.
Yes. Once again, Canadian film, so it was always everywhere in Canada. Growing up, I watched Videodrome in bits and pieces. We have our own kind of HBO type channels that would play Videodrome on the old. We have like a classic film channel, and they would play that all the time.
What's it called?
Which one?
I don't know, any of the weird channels.
Oh, well, originally it used to be called TMN, which was the movie network, and then they had Movie Picks, which was for the old ones.
Don't tell me it's with an X. Don't tell me it's with an X.
Oh, it's with an X.
God damn it.
They changed it around. I forget to what. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched bits on there. There used to be a horror channel. I don't know if it's still around, called Scream. The Scream channel that played horror movies. They played that all the time. So I'd always watch in bits and pieces. But I've never in my life actually sat down and watched Videodrome, front to end. I loved it. I was at home watching it. Funnily enough, my mom watched it with me, just great parent viewing, and she turned to me. I don't mean to offend people when I say this, but I'm directly quoting her. 20 minutes in, I think after James Woods had his first hallucination, she just turns to me and she goes, "This is retarded." That's what she said.
Your mom said retarded. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, she's for Canadians, she's from the East Coast. She's from Cape Bredens. If you're Canadian, you probably know what that is. So she has no filter.
What is that? What did you say? Where is she from?
Cape Breton. It's a small island in the province of Nova Scotia. Yeah, no, people there they don't have filters. But no, I was like, I love this movie. It's so original. It's so crazy. I love the ideas they play with in that movie. The idea of the philosophical kind of approach to television and what impact it has. James Woods is great. It's just one of those. It's Cronenberg. It's just this crazy, ridiculous, original idea that's done in this very cool way. And I'm kind of like, I think I told you that like the downside of when I watch a Criterion movie for the first time is like, I'm like, shit, now I have to own it. It's like, well, there goes money down the drain every time. That's like my hesitation of watching Criterions for the first time. But yeah,
Videodrome's worth it, man. I own it myself, and the packaging is it's all the way across the room, so I'm not gonna go get it. That'd be weird. But maybe I should have ran and gotten it while you were talking. But
I'd be talking to no one.
Yeah, you'd be talking to our zillions of viewers, CJ.
Yes, the viewers, the club applicants. I'd be talking.
Guys, okay, just calm down, applicants. We're gonna get to all of you. You might not get in, but keep watching because we're awesome.
We will not refund your monocle that broke from earlier.
Yeah, all of you guys, all of you, all your, we're so sorry about. We apologize for all the monocles, but anyways, yeah, Videodrome is awesome, an awesome own. It's totally worth the buy. For the special effects featurettes alone, I mean, it's Cronenberg's practical effects are like some of my favorite in cinema. Really, I mean, and his set design, him and his team, of course, not just Cronenberg, but I mean, set design is also like kind of like Tati's silent style. Set design is a lost art, I feel, in movies, and you know, like in the silent era, you could, even though the sets, of course, the sets looked very constructed and man-made or whatever, and you know what I mean, like kind of hokey. You could almost, because they were, you could see that, and you could see the seams. You were more appreciative of the craftsmanship that went into building them. I mean, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, I mean, it's incredible what they did with that film and painting shadows, which is something you'll never see again, probably. But it has an incredible effect, and I think Cronenberg keeps that tradition alive with his set and costume design.
I actually watched Caligari for the first time like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good movie. I was actually shocked to watch it because I'm like, oh my god, like there were so many things going on in the movie, and I'm like, wow, like I think this might be the first time anyone ever tried this in a movie. Like I mean, this is like maybe it's one of the first movies with an actual twist ending, you know, like
Absolutely.
And I just feel like now is just, you know, if I ever feel like a movie is very cliched and doing a certain element, I can maybe point it back to that movie and just feel like, you know, Caligari did it, but still, like, yeah, no, and I don't know if Caligari's, I don't think it's on Criterion, but I saw the new restoration, which is like just blow your face off, gorgeous, like just incredible. That restoration is astounding for a movie. I think it's from 1919 or 1920 or something. You would like, I was kind of like, holy crap, this looks amazing for its age.
Yeah, it's one of the, I think, one of the greatest visual movies of all time, and I think that twist ending you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that the director, Robert, I don't know how to say his last name, dude. Vina,
probably Vina. Yeah.
Robert Vina. I don't think he wanted to do that ending.
Really?
Yeah, I think he wanted to just keep it kind of.
It does feel strange. I mean, it did feel strange. Yeah. I mean, like actually, I was talking to someone who watched it, and he told me that he didn't even get it at first. Like he actually was like, oh, he's like, I had to explain it to him because he didn't get it. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, 'cause I didn't know what was going on at the end there. So I'm not surprised if it felt like it was tacked on, or you know.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to do it, and he wanted to keep it a little darker. But it's very similar to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, where that scene where the detective is explaining the mental state of Norman Bates at the end of the movie, which is like the only thing. I know it's a very popular sentiment, but I think it's the only thing keeping that movie from being perfect. Is that scene at the end, which totally like is like, you know, we're smarter than that, you know.
Yeah.
We get it, and it would have been more haunting if that scene had been cut out. But anyways, yeah, Cronenberg's great.
I'll ask you, have you seen any Criterions for the first time in the last few weeks, or no?
You know what? I had seen Blowout a long time ago, like before I was even, like when I was a kid and I didn't know shit. So like I watched Blowout, which is the one I've watched recently. John Travolta, Nancy Allen, Brian De Palma, a student of Hitchcock's. Yeah, what a thrill, man. Have you seen Blowout?
I saw it a while ago. Not actually, maybe like 2-3 years ago. It's, you know, De Palma's a very hit or miss for me. I'm kind of hot and cold on him, and this one, I remember it, I mean, I don't really remember it, so that kind of says what I thought of the movie. But there are other movies, you know, by De Palma that, you know, I want to rewatch Body Double, for instance. I think that's a great De Palma movie. You know, stuff like that. Yes, I mean, some people go farther than what you said about De Palma being a student of Hitchcock and say he just rips off Hitchcock.
But you know what? That's interesting though, because I think that's okay with Hitchcock, because Hitchcock ripped off Hitchcock. Like Hitchcock is all about that. He's all about iterating. You know, doing the same scene over and over in different movies and making them better. Which I always talk about, which is because it's so fascinating to me, like the crop duster scene that is in 39 Steps, and then he just does it again, but better in North by Northwest, which is so great. It's like he's competitive with himself, which is really fascinating. And De Palma never surpasses Hitchcock, but it's fun to watch. And I think Blowout was it was great. I mean, it was a noir. It's a noir, and it was cool to watch it close to Halloween because I don't know if you remember, but the film opens with a fake Halloween like slasher style movie. Or a movie within the movie that John Travolta, who plays a sound man, is doing sound for in the film. I really loved Blowout. It kind of threw me for a loop because I don't remember liking it this much the first time I saw it.
Isn't John Lithgow in it as like one of the bad guys?
Yeah, he plays a suspicious man. I'll just see that. John Lithgow.
I was like, John Lithgow.
I know. I'm so glad I didn't. I was telling my wife. She walked in while I was watching it, and I was saying, and it was during a scene where John Lithgow looks really creepy and is doing something. He kind of looks creepy throughout the whole movie. But I was saying I was glad I didn't see this before I grew up with Third Rock, because it would have ruined everything.
I should have seen it after because I saw Love is Strange recently, and that would have been quite the turn.
What did you think of Love is Strange?
I liked it. I think it's a really lovely drama. Yeah, it's so sad because I'm already thinking because like we're gonna do like I want to do that feature of like underrated overlooked movies of the year, and I just feel like by design that movie's going to be so under the radar because it is such a quiet human movie, and it's quite good.
Yeah, Love is Strange. Just to derail just one last time before we end this off, Love is Strange is. I really enjoyed that movie. I think it's a pure love story in that the Alfred Molina and John Lithgow play lovers in the movie, and the obstacles that they face aren't within the relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's a pure love story. They love each other through the whole movie, and they face obstacles together, which I think is really refreshing to see because you never see that today when it comes to romance movies. There always has to be some type of fight or something. So I recommend that. I also recommend you guys checking out my interview with the director Ira Sachs. We have a video interview right here on our YouTube channel, which you should totally check out. It's actually one of my favorite interviews.
And to tie it back to Criterion, Ira Sachs took a very clear, obvious influence from Leo Beccary's Make Way for Tomorrow, which you should own that movie sight unseen because that is a total flipping masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie just destroys me anytime I watch it. It is so astounding. And Love is Strange doesn't do the same thing, but I love that someone decided to make a very modern-day version of Make Way for Tomorrow, because even today it still has resonance. That movie came out in the 30s.
Yeah, I got to check that one out. That's a blind spot for me.
There you go. That's the one I'm going to recommend for you. Make Way for Tomorrow.
Look forward to my reaction.
Yes.
Guys, in the next episode of Criterion Club. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been a fun one, CJ. I like this one.
Yeah, you see,
it's been a good time.
We'll be back. I guess when they announce the next titles in the mid-November.
You know what? We'll be back. We'll be back whenever the hell we want to be back because I think maybe we should do this more often than once a month, CJ.
Perhaps. I mean, we're just it's always fun to chat not only movies but great movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of great movies, and I feel like we could have done a whole chat about Tati. We could have done a whole chat about Kurosawa. So maybe we'll see you guys sooner than a month from now. But in case we don't, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you in November. Happy Halloween. Take care. Follow us on Twitter at Way2Indie. Like us on Facebook, please. We post all our stuff on there. And what else, CJ?
Listen to the Way2Indie cast on the website.
Listen to the Way2Indie cast. We have a Halloween spectacular, spooktacular. If you're a pun fan, there's a lot of gold in there for you guys. Check out the Way2Indie cast. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our video content is going. We're really working hard to give you guys a lot of cool stuff on there. A lot of video interviews, a lot of hangouts like this, a lot of music interviews. So subscribe to us on there. Find CJ on Twitter at
CJ_PRIN.
Find me at BJ_Boo. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Goodbye. and tons of like crazy stuff because that's Guy Maddin. He always likes to have this ridiculous stuff, and he's so inspired by like silent films and that era of cinema. I know he casted like a very old famous silent actress. I think it was her last role in the movie, but yeah, no. I need to give a Guy Maddin a better chance. I just remember like the saddest song of the world I didn't really care for in this one, but yeah. However, the other two, Preston Sturges' The Palm Beach Story, which I have not seen.
I'm super excited for that one. I haven't seen it, but I love Preston Sturges, and I can't wait to eat up whatever of his comes out, basically.
Yeah. And finally, I'm not going to say the original title because I will brutalize it, but it's The Swamp by Lucretia Martel. And this is the only film of hers I have not seen yet. I have seen The Holy Girl and The Headless Woman.
The Swamp?
Yes, this is La
Cienega.
Yes.
La Cienega.
Yeah, you see, you know how to pronounce it better than me. But yeah, I saw the Headless Woman. I really like The Headless Woman. Did not care for The Holy Girl as much, but a lot of people.
Here's that. That was the recent one, right? La Cienega.
No, that's 2000. Yeah, it's 2001. Recent for. Yeah, I thought you were talking about her filmography. That was her first film, but yeah, no, I haven't. I actually I've been holding off on seeing this one, and now that here's a Petra von Kant by Rainer Werner Fassbinder. Fassbinder, yeah, everyone should know who that is. And then My Winnipeg by Guy Maddin.
I want to see that one so bad.
I'm actually not a crazy fan of Guy Maddin from what I've seen. I remember I tried to watch My Winnipeg years ago. It was like it's a Canadian movie, so naturally it's like promoted like crazy in Canada, or more than it would in the States. I watched
in Canada, by the way. For those
yeah, I'm in Canada.
California. I'm in California. CJ's in Canada.
Yeah, so we were just discussing the temperature differences and my envy, but but yeah, no. My Winnipeg, I watched like maybe 20 minutes and I turned it off. I don't know if I'm just not a fan of Guy Maddin's style or what, but I intend to give him like a proper chance. I love his short movie. I think it's called The Heart of the World.
Okay.
That's great, but
Dude,
yeah.
But the premise sounds so awesome for My Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Talk about the premise.
I'll go by the Criterion. It says on the Criterion, it's like a work of memory and imagination. Maddin's film burrows into what the filmmaker calls the heart of the continent, conjuring the city as delightful as it is fearsome, populated by sleepwalkers and hockey aficionados. Basically, it's kind of like a personal essay film of sorts because
it's autobiographical.
Yeah, it's autobiographical, but it indulges.
It's his family members, except his mom plays his mom. His mom's in the movie.
Yeah, but it indulges in tons. Criterion's releasing on DVD and Blu-ray. I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for the Blu-ray because it'll, look way better than the DVD that's out now. Lucretia Martel, I'm kind of happy in a way. She is. I'm not as crazy about her as other people, but she's a very, I think, undervalued director. She makes some, like, even though I didn't care for The Holy Girl, she has a very cool, distinct style. The Headless Woman's really good, and I tell everyone, like, please go see it. I'm more excited about this announcement because I feel like The Headless Woman is going to come out on Criterion eventually.
Right.
Great. But yeah.
I'm excited for that. Those are all the releases for January 2015, but actually right now, if you want to watch a couple of them, The Sword of Doom and The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant are available on Hulu Plus, which is, it's better than nothing.
Have you seen The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant?
No, man. I'm planning on watching it right after we're done here.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, Fassbinder is a director that I've only seen Ali, like, Fear Eats the Soul, which I wasn't crazy about, and I've been intending to get into more Fassbinder movies, but...
I hear there's lots of long shots, lots of deep focus going on.
Yeah. That's why I'm now Mr. Long Shot Deep Focus.
Long Shot Deep Focus, they're almost like Criterion tropes at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is very funny. It's like people who aren't. This is an interesting thing. People who aren't really familiar with the Criterion Collection almost talk about the Criterion Collection as if it's a genre of movie. Like this, they'll watch a movie that's like kind of art house, and they'll say, "This is like a Criterion movie." Like, what do you mean? I know what they mean, but it's totally a totally wrong interpretation of what the Criterion Collection is. It's
Yeah,
like they think movies come out like Criterion Collection creates movies or something.
yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's just becoming a catch-all for like art house or something that's not going to please you sometimes or not unfold in the way you're expecting. I don't know, but yeah, I
Yeah,
find it funny.
all the weirdos, and of course here at way2indie.com, we kind of love that stuff. So moving on, those are the releases. I'm very excited for those. But what I'm more excited about is that CJ just watched. What is this? Your first Kurosawa or second
No,
Kurosawa?
second.
Second Kurosawa movie. The first movie you watched was
Stray Dog.
Stray Dog. Wow, that's an interesting place to start.
Well, actually, it was the thing. Someone I know, we had this thing where we each recommended movies to each other from directors we haven't seen, and he gave me Kurosawa. I was like, okay, I'll do Kurosawa because I really need to watch this movie. So he's like, watch Stray Dog. He's like, don't. He didn't want to pick like the obvious, so he's like, do Stray Dog, and I like Stray Dog.
Hi guys, welcome to Criterion Club, Way2Indie's monthly hangout about everything Criterion and the Criterion Collection. I'm Bernard, a writer at way2indie.com, and joining me today, as always, is CJ Prince, another writer at way2indie.com.
Hello.
And it's good to be back at our super exclusive club.
Yes,
We love coming here. This is our special place on Way2Indie that no one knows about. Which is, I think it's a good thing.
One day,
One day, the club is growing. I think we're up to two and a half members now.
Yeah, I said last time, we still have applications pouring in. We're going to, get through those. We did approve one member, but he died. So we will eventually get to the other application.
Yeah, we'll miss Jerome. Love goes out to his family and everybody.
Much love to Jerome.
Yeah, everyone else in Timbuktu. So to start things off, we're gonna run through the titles that the Criterion Collection announced, I think, last week that are coming out in January. Right, CJ?
Yes, January. So I have the list here. First one up is The Sword of Doom, a movie by Kihachi Okamoto, I believe that's how it's pronounced or not. Then The Bitter Tears